Oh. Oh, no, no. Oh, I see, I see, I see.
Certo, certo, ok. Steven, qual è il senso di questo spettacolo e che lavoro avete fatto?
You're gonna have to translate for me. Yes, it's not- Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to answer this in English. It's not that good. Well, it takes about a few months to prepare for the show. Shadow making is very, very specific, and one little movement can throw the whole shape off. So it takes a lot of time and a lot of practice to actually achieve the image we want. Do I look straight at the camera when I
It's
answer?
the same.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to know one thing. Can you tell as much as you can about the company, about your beginning, about your personal history, about something about also your colleagues? Because what you are doing is really something fantastic. It's also magic mixture between poetry, dance, light, shadows, and it's a wonderful way to create a narration while using your body, and that's very. And that's, I think, this is why the reason. This is the reason why you have such a great success, because what you're doing is really, really understandable. The language of dance, classical dance or modern dance, sometimes it's not so as easy as yours is.
Very true. Well, our company has a very small start, and it started with our director, Adam Battlestein, who is not here tonight. But he was really inspired by shadows, and he wanted to tell stories by using shadows, by using this medium that really anyone watching, no matter what language you speak, can understand. So he really wanted to tell stories, and I think that is what's so interesting for me and for everyone else, us dancers, is that we're able to tell stories with our bodies and with this new medium that's actually very old. It dates back so many thousands of years, but I think now we can tell different stories with it, and I think that we're able to create a different magical world for people.
Yes, and I'd like to ask this, and beyond the poetry and the fairy tale, I want to know something more specific about your training, because as a dancer, I know that you are athletes, you are, I don't know, acrobats, a lot of things all together. And how many hours per day do you usually perform?
Oh, it's a good question. A lot of us have very different backgrounds. Most of us are trained in modern and ballet. I myself was classically trained in ballet, and I was actually with another dance company for a long time, and I still am. But all our trainings, our backgrounds are very different, and I think that's also what makes the work so interesting, because there's different styles of dance within one company, and I think that broadens what we can do, which I think is interesting.
Is it simple to communicate among you inside your group? Because coming from having such different experiences as a background, sometimes there is a sort of quarrel between classical dancer and modern dancer, whereas sometimes we have great classical dancer, but after a while, let's say when they're about 50 or more years old, they're obliged to leave classical ballet and starting, for instance, with modern dancing, and they do it wonderfully.
Yeah.
For instance, Baryshnikov or Sylvie Guillaume, French dancer, ballerina. So.
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I think when you come to do shadows, it kind of brings everybody together into one frame of mind, and all of a sudden you can communicate the same way because you all want to tell the same story or make the same shape.
And this show is not for only children, no?
No, this show can relate to children and adults the same. I think we tell a broad story that anyone can relate to.
Yeah, but I think there's always a child inside every
Exactly.
Okay, for me, I think
you.
it's enough. Thanks
Yeah.
very much.
Thank you so much.
It has
Thank
been
you.
a great pleasure.
It was a
And
pleasure.
It's a great honor, really. You're doing something wonderfully, really.
Thank you very much.